All right, welcome back. So this is part 3 of our battle demo, and we will see how far we get with this episode. We just left off with populating our bag, activating or deactivating hotspots based on the inventory of health potions or mana potions. So let's go back to our health and mana potion section, and let's look at how we can track this within health potion. So we want it to, that grow effect, which I kind of like, especially with health and mana potions, let people know it's clickable. But now we need to actually put in some code. So when someone clicks a health potion, just what the heck do we do, and make sure that we're decreasing our inventory and doing all of the healing that needs to be done. So let me just share the code I put together for a health potion, and we'll walk through it together. So when the user clicks on our health hotspot, the first thing we do is we set our inventory, or the quantity of our health potion, which I know is row 0, which is why I picked 0 here. So we're going to set this variable, and we're going to decrease it by 1. But now we do a random health roll, and in this case I just said, okay, the health potion will do 10 to 30 hit points of healing. I don't know, and you can play with these numbers as well. So we're just going to create a random number, and then we're going to add some text to our battle text saying you used a health potion and healed blah, so many health points, right? And then we're going to set the player's current health. And we do that with the min command because I want to cap the player's health at their maximum. So if they have 90 hit points and their max is 100 and they heal for 30, I'd put them at 120. That's above their max health. So I'm taking the lesser value of either their current health plus the random roll. So, if their current health is 90, like I said, and they roll 30, that's 120. Or the player's maximum health, which is 100. So it's going to take the least of that. So we'll never go above their max health. And then I also display the text because if you remember right, they have their bag in their inventory and they can open that bag at any time. They don't necessarily need to be in a battle for that to happen. So if they're just out of combat and they use it, I want to make sure they see a message that lets them know that they healed a certain number of points. And then we close that interactive screen, which in this case is the bag screen or inventory screen. And this works also during the battle events as well. So it works out very well. Now let's do something very similar with the mana potion. And give me 1 second here. Let's see. There we go. And I'm going to also copy the code. As you can imagine, very, very similar to what we just looked at, which is great. And we'll go ahead and add that in here. And here we go. So very similarly, this time we're taking row 1 and subtracting 1 from the inventory or quantity that they have, which is mana potions. Also just left it 10 to 30 for healing of their mana. And you used a mana potion, recovered however many magic points. And then we also do the min, so we don't want to go above their max magic value. And we're also displaying the message because, like I said, it can be used anywhere. So you used a mana potion and recovered a certain number of magic points, and we close the screen. Done. So that's all we have to do for the inventory. Now let's go look here. Let's look into the specials now. I think that's one of our last items that we need to populate. And for the skills object, we have 3. We have a double slash, a fireball, and lightning. So let's just start with double slash. Go ahead and show you how we do that. Give it a name. So so we can recognize it. Double slash. And I'm going to make it up here in this corner. We'll start with double slash up here. Let's see. It's going to be an image button. I'm going to just make it kind of round numbers. I found 16 by 29 works about right. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then let's go ahead and assign our double slash. There we go. And this time I'm going to add some text to it. Just so people know what the heck is that. Well, it's a double slash. All right. Then we're going to do fireball and lightning similarly. And I think in my last version that I created, I did not bother adding the text fireball because I thought it was somewhat obvious that it's a fireball. If you want, you are welcome to add text. Maybe I'll do it on one. We'll see if we like that better or if we don't. I'll just say fireball, even though it's obvious to me. All right, let's go ahead and add the last one, which will be our lightning. We'll just get it kind of close. We want it to be an image, and it's going to be 16 by 29, just to keep things consistent. And oh, I see it's a little low. Let's pop that up and over to match the one above it. And let's give it its image, which will be our lightning bolt. There we go. And let's change it from new button to lightning. Not lighting. There we go, lightning. So executing these is fairly easy now that we have everything set up. And I'm going to copy the code over, and it's going to be, like I said, very similar to other code you've seen. So with double slash, let's go ahead and add that in here so you can see. So with double slash, because we're hitting the enemy twice, I started instead of 1 for the minimum, we're doing 2. Then I'm taking their attack power and multiplying that by 2 as well. And I actually have a sound that is a double impact strike. So you can hear that. There were 2. Let's see. That's probably good enough there. Then we're going to close the interactive screen, which is our specials window. So we're back to the main fight window. And then we're going to call player attack. So all we've done is set the min and max values, and that's all we have to do, and we're done. Now let's look at fireball. Fireball is going to be similar, but there's a little bit more to fireball because we're dealing with magic in this case, which is a different variable to track rather than health. If we don't have enough magic, we can't cast spells. So let's see how I did that. So we start with checking the player's current magic. And so for fireball, I set the magic required to 5. And you can set these values to whatever. You can make them variables. You can even add it to an array index of special abilities and add those in there. The sky's the limit. But if they don't have enough magic power, we're going to add to the battle text saying, sorry, you don't have enough magic power, and we'll close the screen. If they do have enough magic power, we're going to subtract from their current magic 5, which was the number that they had to have. So we're taking away 5 magic power, and we're going to set min damage and max damage. So fireball, I gave it quite a bit of power, so 5 to 20. And we're going to play a dramatic fireball sound, which you've heard before. And, we'll shrink it about there, I think. That's about right. Then we close our special screen and we call player attack. So, very similar to what you've seen. Now, lightning I made to be the most powerful attack. So let me copy the lightning data over. Fortunately, it's all very similar to what we've dealt with before. And, oh, here we go. Give me one more second Just pulling it over. Okay, I got it. And let's go ahead and edit the lightning. There we go. So lightning will require 10 magic to cast. And once again, if they don't have enough, we let them know, we close the screen. But if they do, we're going to subtract 10 from their current magic. And I set the damage kind of wide between 5 and 40. It's quite a bit more. And I have a really nice lightning effect sound. Where was it? Thunder Crash. Now you notice there's a little pause at the start, so let's get rid of that. And we'll shrink it in a little bit. We don't need it quite that long. I think I'm starting just a little bit. Here we go. So that's our lightning damage, 5 to 40, and then we close the screen and we call player attack again. So that is it for our specials within our fight object. When we click on items, we need to launch our interactive screens. I don't believe that I've coded that yet. So let's take a quick look and see if items is doing anything. And it is not. So we're just going to call two simple commands here. So let's go ahead and paste those in. So all we're going to do is call the function populate bag, which determines if we have certain potions or not, to show them or not. And then we're going to show our interactive screen, which is inventory object. And that will launch it. That's all you have to do. And then for our special items, it's a little bit easier because all you have to do is show an interactive screen, because you always have your specials as long as you have enough power. So we're just going to show our skills object. And that is all that is needed. And that is pretty much it for the game. I do want to add something special for this version. When the monster dies, I wanted to add a little death sound effect. So let's jump into our functions. I don't think I have any kind of sound effects when they die. So let's see. Here it is. So if the monster dies, you have defeated, well, before we pop that message up, let's go ahead and play our death sound. So let's find a death sound. And I'm just going to drop this node right in between here. And we're going to play a sound effect. And let's see. I thought I had the monsters over here. Let me take a look and see if I brought the monster sound effect. Okay, I have not brought them in yet, but let's go ahead and bring them in. So let's open up our sound effects here. Here we go. And I have maybe 4 different monster death sounds. So let's figure out which one we want. I'm just going to bring them all in and we'll decide together which one we want. So I've got the beast screech. Wow, it's a little drawn out. Let's try the demon. Not a fan of that one. That's not too bad. Oh. That, for me, that one's the winner. So let's go ahead and jump back into our player attack function. And let's go back to our sound effects. And let's go ahead and pick that sound effect, which was this one, I believe. Yeah. So we know that the monster dies that way. And we didn't have that in the last one. So let's go ahead and test our game. We've pretty much got it together at this point. Let's click on Publish Game. I am on a Windows computer, so let's publish. And you'll notice right now, oh, it's going to my new adventure. I don't want that. Let's call it Battle Demo. Oops. There we go. So let's go ahead and publish it. And the RagNext system is creating our Windows deliverable. And it popped up over here. So you'll see you have the battle demo game ready to go. You also have a zip file that you can distribute if you'd like to your systems. Actually, there's one other thing I wanted regarding distributing your games. You can also set up your engine credits and links. I link, of course, to my studio here. You can set your Discord's official websites. And below that, you have custom promotional and support links. So I know a lot of folks that create interactive games or interactive fiction like to add their own links to help fundraise or help, drive interest in their games. We've got all these different folks that you can choose. We've got Patreon, Ko-Fi, Kickstarter, whatever you want to help promote your game. You can put that in here. You can give it a name and a URL for your custom link. Just wanted to share that out with you. Let me go ahead and republish that so you can see, this Patreon link. It obviously doesn't go anywhere, but just for example. So I'm just going to republish now that I made a change. All right, so now it's time to test our game. Actually, you know what? Before we test the game, there's one thing I forgot to do. If we go back to our bag item, we had just started creating the open action, and we never did anything with it yet because we didn't have all of our functions set up. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. And so when we open the bag, we're going to call our populate bag function. Actually, let's see. Called it there. And then we're going to show our inventory object. So that's how we're going to handle opening our bag. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and jump back here. And oh, dagnabbit. Let's actually, we have to publish again, because I just added those commands. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we can run our battle demo game. So let's do that. And here we are. So we're in our game. You can see our stats. We've got health and magic. We can look in our bag. And we can open it up. Let's go ahead and use the health potion a couple times. And one more just to make sure it goes away after we're done here. And sure enough, it is gone. Now let's roam the forest and see if we get attacked. We've got a 30% chance. There it goes. So we've encountered an orc. Here's our orc. You can see we could adjust the portrait up ever so slightly just to make it fit in there a little better. We'll work on that later. But let's go ahead and launch a lightning bolt. So that was easy. We killed him in one shot. You can see it did 32 damage. His health is -2. He's definitely dead. And you can see our magic has gone down. Our health has gone nowhere because we one-shotted him. But let's go ahead and use a mana potion. Now you see we healed 25, so we're back up to 50. That's not the most efficient use, but I'm just demonstrating. So in this case, let's do a double attack on this guy. There we go. So what did that do? 20 damage. That's pretty good. He only has 5 left. We'll just do normal. There we go. So we wiped him out. And that's kind of the way it worked. Here's our sorcerer. Let's see if I have enough magic to take care of him. That did a lot. Let's do a fireball. There we go. And so that's game. Let's go ahead and kill 5, just so you can see the end game message. It shouldn't take long. There we go. See how much magic do I have? I have enough. We'll just keep one-shotting these guys until we get to 5. Here we go. I can do it one more time and finish him off. Let's do it. Oh, he's not dead. Let's start. Well, let's do a double attack. Uh-oh. He's a little tougher. There we go. And we did it. Victory is ours. We vanquished 5 fearsome foes. And so that is our simple battle demo game, and I hope you enjoyed and gained something out of this tutorial. Please, as always, reach out to me for any comments, join our Discord. That will be in the description below. And thanks for your time. Bye.